Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is another review for Queen Sugar, Season 5, Episode 3. It's going to be a busy week, guys. So, some of these videos, like this one, y'all should have got last week. But, hey, it is what it is. It's going to be a busy week, though, because a lot of stuff is back. I still have to do Housewives, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Good Girls came back on. We have to do that, and we definitely have to do the Meghan and Prince Harry interview. That's gonna be on while I was out, but still have to get it done nonetheless. But let's get into Queen Sugar. So Ralph Angel is listening to the radio, and the news is very coronavirus centered. This time though, he's tuned in, he's listening, whereas before he was turning the radio off, not really wanting to take heed to anything or listen to any details. Then we see him out in the sugarcane fields, and he's still listening to the radio. They're still, reporting on all of these cases, that sort of thing. The farmers in St. Joe, or, farmers in general, they are suffering because these mills are closed. So these people who have harvests, it's basically a waste because they're, the mills are closed. A lot of businesses are closed. Like, we in it now. We see he gets on the phone, calling different farmers, calling people, explaining to them, that he's basically a sitting duck until further notice. He can't really do much. So won't be no business deals. Won't be none of that. But Ralph Angel is he has a good outlook on things. Excuse me. He has good outlook on things. He's not worried. He's cool. He's pretty even keel. Like, he's like starting to turn into his dad. He's very much mature. Cause old Ralph Angel would have been doing a whole lot. Going to go sell a little dope. Ralph Angel in the past, that's who he was then, and this is who he is now. Very centered. Nothing is gonna knock him off his block. Anyway, he calling the people and telling them he can't do anything right now. And while he's talking to somebody, they tell him about somebody in the parish testing positive for COVID. So now we know it's already in St. Joe. Then we see Nova. She's, coming in the kitchen, and she sit right on it. Calvin is there eating his breakfast, and she's ready for a little morning sex. And so that's what's on her mind. Never mind what you're talking about, Calvin. I just want the D right here, right now, in the kitchen, right here where you sit. Aunt Vi, no, she's talking about how much she loves being quarantined with him. And I thought to myself, yeah, right now you do. I'm sure everybody was getting it in heavy, in the early part of the quarantine, and then that dwindled, all that time together. I'm sure, like, you went stir crazy at some point. I know my husband was getting on my nerves, and I know I was getting on his nerves eventually. But everybody was, oh, it's so nice to quarantine with the people you love. Until they start getting on your nerves, kids included. Aunt Vi in Hollywood, they are, getting to-go orders ready. So that's what Aunt Vi has been doing. She's been, cooking up the food because it's just going to sit anyway and have to be thrown out. So she's just been cooking it up and sending it out, in care packages. Hollywood's delivering for her. Nova and Calvin, they just getting it out to the people of St. Joe because they have a large elderly community. Like, most of the community is elderly. Or people are just in need. And so that's what Aunt Vi is doing. Charlie, we see that Hollywood gets a call from his mom. And Willie Mae, that's her name. He sent her a care package, but she ain't went out there to get the care package because she said she don't want the COVID lingering, in the care package. So she don't know where that package has been, who has touched it, none of that. So she's leaving it outside on her porch for 14 days. It's going to quarantine outside for 14 days, and then she'll open it. But I'm sure it's food and it's supplies, whatever. She's in Baton Rouge. Then we see Charlie on the phone with the rest of the board members. And the black guy, he has a wild hair up his ass, for Charlie, because he is always so negative when it comes to anything she says. Like, she can say that she gonna cure cancer, and he gonna be like, psh, yeah, right, you can't do that. Like, he's just a negative Nancy. But anyway, they're gonna need all of these extra expenses, due to the COVID restrictions. Like, there's a lot going on, and people don't know what to do for their people, in their respective parish. The hospitals are at capacity, and and the people that aren't taking it serious, so they putting everybody else's lives in danger. More of the same. We already know this, because out here in Atlanta, it was All-Star Weekend, and nobody cared about COVID. It was as if it didn't exist anymore here in Atlanta, and everybody here is immune, because that's how packed that the city was. Wasn't going nowhere near it, and I wouldn't have gone nowhere near it if there wasn't a pandemic. I hate traffic, and when things of that nature are happening in the city, listen, you just gonna be sitting there. It ain't even the inching kind of traffic. It's just sitting there for an hour. Why? I don't know. Mr. Jackson, that's his name, the man on the board. He gonna try to chime in and say, well, Aunt Vi's establishment has been open, and the stay at home order has not been lifted, and I've seen a little bit of activity over there at Aunt Vi's Diner and Pies, or whatever it's called. And Charlie is like, listen, don't worry about my auntie. You worried about the wrong thing. You worry about them people over there in your parish, and I'm gonna worry about my auntie, because she's doing the Lord's work. Anyway, hold on. Oh, after the little call, she gets off, and one of the other members is still on the phone, and she sees Charlie taking a sip of her drink. She's like, oh, I need to go get me some coffee too. Charlie like, girl, who said this was coffee? And then the camera kind of pans down, and we see, like, we in the trenches, so you already know what it is. Zoom calls. We dress from the from the waist up. And so from the waist down, it's pajamas, house shoes, that sort of thing. So we already know, like, we're in it. I think they said it's been like 6 weeks. It was only supposed to be 2 weeks, and now it's 6 weeks. Nova and Charlie are in the community. Not Charlie, Calvin, in the community doing their little outreach. They're delivering the packages to all of the homes, and leaving them on the porch. So this is a contactless situation, which is within the COVID guidelines. Darla and Ralph Angel are unloading and sanitizing groceries. So, like, this episode was pretty much showing us how everybody is dealing in the pandemic, because, like, we're in the pandemic now. Before, we were leading up to it. Now we're in it. And so we already know you're getting your groceries, you're sanitizing your groceries before you're putting them in the house. So that's what Darla and Ralph Angel are doing. Blue, we got to deal with Blue in the virtual learning, so he got to do that. Ralph Angel is upset because he's like, the internet don't be working sometimes. It's like these teachers or, the school board should have thought of that before they just decided everybody should be virtual. Not everybody has access to, fiber optic internet. Everybody doesn't have access to a computer, all of that, so, because we had to go virtual when I was coming up, I would have been in a situation myself at the library paying. Like, we didn't have no computer or none of that. Like, I was going to the library and doing my research when I had papers and that sort of thing. So listen, it wouldn't have been good. It would not have been good. He tells Darla that he spent most of the day, calling and checking on people. And, Darla is like, but how are you? Are you okay? And she says, I know it's crazy for me to even ask you that. But he's like, surprisingly, I am okay. I'm doing all right. He has a sense of calm. He ain't really worried, like I said earlier. He's fine that they're not in harvest. Other talking about the other farmers that were, and they had to throw away all of their product, because there's nobody to sell it to. Mills aren't open, all of that. And he's like, so the next year the soil will be, a lot more rich. So it's gonna, on the back end, it's gonna turn out okay for them. They can recoup everything that they missed in 2020. So he's like, we're just gonna be patient. Patience is a virtue. Darla, she's worried about the money. She's like, how we gonna get some money around here? They got some money saved, and she's like, you think you can ask Charlie for a loan? I'm not asking Charlie for no money. And the nerve, like, come on. Some people just, everybody don't want to leech off their family. Everybody don't want to have to always ask a family member to help them or to loan them some money. Like, it's always normally the in-law that's like, go ahead and ask them. No. No, you ask then. You go over there and ask. But anyway, he ain't asking anyway. He refuses to ask Charlie. Charlie sits down with Aunt Vi, to tell her what the board members was talking about. They like, listen, per the board members, they said you was over here open. I'm just trying to make sure y'all contactless. And Vi is like, yes, Councilwoman Bordelon. You already know what we trying to do over here. What is this? Charlie just got to do her due diligence. She just got to do her job. It's like, listen, it's not me. It's the state of Louisiana. And that's just that. And Vi is like, the same state that stopped accepting applications for the little loan, the small business loans, and got us over here struggling. Got me robbing Peter to pay Paul. She barely keeping her head above water. And you talking to me about the state. F the state. The health inspector is going around, though, shutting folks down. So Charlie's worried about that. She's just like, listen, I don't want you caught up in that. Just be careful. Vi asked about Micah coming home. He's coming home. He done stayed in the dorm long enough. Now he gonna come home. And Charlie's excited, but Vi is like, child, be careful, because he grown now. And 2 grown people in the house. Ain't nobody trying to go back to following rules after they've been on their own. So I'm just telling you, be careful. I'm praying for y'all. Nova drops by on Mr. Prosper. Y'all, this whole thing. Anytime Mr. Prosper was on the screen, I was just like welling up with tears, because I don't want to see Mr. Prosper in this way. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. He don't want no help with nothing, because she's like, I can, put some of the stuff away. No, going on, Nova. I'm okay. I got it. And he kind of, snapped at her a little bit. He's scared. He's sitting up in that house watching the news, and the media ain't doing nothing but instilling fear in people. And he's alone. So that's not a good combination. Mr. Prosper, y'all pray for him, okay? Because he in a funk. Darla and Blue, we see that they're working on math. She's on her way out to work. Well, she has a call, I should say, but she's trying to stall. It looked like, but she's trying to stall, trying to get on that call. I'm sure she knows this is probably not going to be good, but she has a work call, and Ralph Angel comes in there like, well, what's going on? I mean, it's about time for Mama to get on her call, ain't it? Blue, you come on up out of here. You can take you a little break. Let Mama get started on this call, because Ralph Angel want to know what's up, I'm sure. Hollywood. He's talking to his mom on FaceTime. She's helping him, with a little recipe, giving him some cooking advice. And she starts coughing, and, now we worried. And she like the oath, I'm going to just put a little salve on it. Don't you worry about it. I'm going to be okay. A little salve. That's not going to help, Willie Mae. Get down to the doctor and see what's what. Always with that, I'm going to just put a little Vicks on it. I'll be all right. Just put a little Vicks on it and go lay down and get me a little sip of water. I'm going to put me a little something on it. No, you can't put a little something on that. That's a virus. We got to heal that from the inside, Willie Mae. Anyway, Hollywood is nervous about that too. He like, listen, I will come out there if need be. She like, no, you mind your business. She changes the subject. He's still worried though. Micah, he's home, and he on the phone talking to frat brothers or whoever he talking to. got his feet up on the couch. It's trash and food all over the table. And Charlie walks in, look, and she got the look on her face like, what's going on in here? If you don't get all of this up off the floor, off the table, she don't spaz on him, but she has that look in her eyes that you can see out from up under the mask. She just got that look. And he's like, I got this. I'm gonna clean up. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. And, she's just happy that he's home. She's like, you're an adult. I'm an adult. We're both going to do our parts here. It's going to be a cohesive environment. We're not even going to start off on the wrong foot. And she asked she says something about Kiki. And Micah is like, well, I don't know about Kiki. I don't know if I'm going to be seeing Kiki no more. Kiki done dumped me for another guy. I was like, did she? I don't think so, Micah. Micah probably lying about that. Darla is outside in the garden. And then Ralph Angel comes out there, to ask about the meeting. She's been officially laid off. They gonna pay her up for 2 weeks. And, they'll be furloughed after that, which means they'll still be able to, access the benefits and all of that. But there will be no more checks. Now we need another stream of income. And Ralph Angel is like, we all got to get jobs. Like, I don't know what to do. Then we see Ralph Angel selling one of his tractors, because they need some money. He and the guy go back and forth, about the deal. Ralph Angel is asking for $8,500, and the man is like, whew, that's steep. Let's come on down to $6. And he said $5. And Ralph Angel just turned around. All right, you have a good day. Anybody doing no $5,000 when I asked you for $8? And then the man, throws out there, okay, what about $6,500? No. They settle on $7,000. So he gonna go on and sell the tractor. And he, looking back like, damn, I'm getting rid of this tractor. I'm gonna need it. You can just get you another one. Nova is at home meditating and praying. Calvin comes in. He interrupts her, but Nova doesn't mind. And, he asks her about what she's praying for. And she's praying for Prosper. Praying for, that loneliness to go away. Because, she told him about her going to visit and seeing how Prosper's countenance was just low. He was feeling bad. He was feeling mighty low. So she praying for Prosper. Prayers up for Prosper. Hollywood is trying to get his mama on the line. She ain't answering. And so he calls one of her friends and, it's like, can you go around there and see about my mama because she ain't answering my calls. I've been calling and calling. Please go and check on her. And the lady is like, of course, I'll go check and I'm going to report back. Ralph Angel is on the porch and Darla comes out there. We got to talk. We got to talk about the plan, like how we going to get some money, how we going to get some income. He tells her, the money from the tractor didn't even put a dent in the bills. So it helped, but not much. That's when she says, she don't want him selling off pieces of his life, to support the family. So she's just going to go and get another job. And he says, I'm going to go get the job. I'm going to go and get another job. And she's like, what? Yeah, he going to go get another job. Who am I to not get, to not work? Ralph Angel gets a call, that confirms a 4:00 appointment. So I'm assuming that this is an interview. And then the next thing we see, Micah's on the phone in his bed talking to some girl, talking to some tender. And Charlie, comes in and she looking like, who the hell he talking to so quickly? And the girl on the phone is a super fan. Oh my God, is that your mom? Tell her I said hi. Blah, 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 blah. And Charlie looking like, who is this girl? Who is this little girl? Who is your little friend? Hey girl, how you doing, young lady? All right, you have a good one. Oh, extra. She'll stand. She's standing down. He flirting with her on the phone. When I see your mom, I always see she's just always up there looking so good. You always look so good. It don't even sound right, Micah, because Micah in real time got a whole boyfriend. So, Micah, whatever. Then we see Ralph Angel at his interview, and the interview goes, he did that. He done used some of them tricks and skills that Charlie gave both he and Darla, he done put them to use too. And because the hiring manager is basically like, you just trying to get ends to meet right now, and I need somebody that's gonna be here. It's a custodial job. He say, listen, my daddy had to do it, and so I can do it too. He gives her a nice little a nice little spin on it. And, she's impressed. It's that whole, y'all need me, let me help you. Let me, alleviate all your problems. I got you. Hire me. And so she hired him on the spot and tell him he can start Monday. Hollywood is calling Prosper. Prosper's not answering the phone. Vi comes in, with some chamomile tea for Hollywood. Hollywood worried about his mama. He worried about Prosper. He was able to, get a report on Mama, and Mama has just been at the house. She's fine, but she's a bit lethargic, and we all know that's a symptom of the virus. So Hollywood is nervous, and so am I. I'm nervous too. Vi just suggests, listen, just going on down there and lay eyes on your mama. You might just go and have to do that. Of course, Hollywood is like, I'm gonna do it. That he 10 steps ahead of her. He was already headed to go see about his mama. Prosper is at home. We see he's just in there still listening to the news. Everybody's calling. He don't answer. He gets another call thinking that it's still Hollywood and it's Nova. And and she gets him to talk and open up a little bit, and it's nice to see. She put a smile on Prosper's face. Because he sat right up when she told him that she wanted a quote, for her article. She wanted to talk to him about that, and so he's like, "Oh, you want to interview me? Okay, I can do that. Well, what you need to know, Nova? What you need to know?" He ready to spill a little wisdom. Ralph Angel is headed out for the first day of work. Darla, she in there. She done took up sewing, so she's working on something. She says she's working on something special. But Ralph Angel goes out there, gets in his car, and he looking over at the fields. You still a farmer. You still a farmer, Ralph Angel. Don't give up. You still a farmer. But right now, like everybody, we got to do what we have to do. Everybody. I'm sure a lot of people got creative. A lot of people started, working towards goals and dreams that they put to the side. Working the 9-to-5s and your other jobs that you were working. Now people are, have to find creative ways to get to the money. So it is what it is. I'm sure he won't be doing that for long. Well, he gonna be doing it as long as we gonna be watching this show, because we ain't out the pandemic yet. So they ain't just gonna write that in there. Anyway, that's where it ended out at. And we will be back. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.